The type of persons that you deal with, the type of young people that you deal with, do you see they may come into the counseling center depressed or heartbroken or just really cannot believe that what they're dealing with is happening, or sometimes they'll ask the question, why me? But when they actually talk to you, do you really see at the end of their sessions or at the end of their counseling period, do you see a change? What significant change would you see in that young person?
There's another passage in the Bible where God addressed Samuel, and Samuel went to look for the new king while Saul was still king, and he went to the house of Jesse, and Samuel saw Jesse's oldest son, and Samuel was convinced, hey, that's the future king. He's handsome, he's strong, he's a part of the present army that we have here in Israel, he's experienced, that has to be the future king. And God said to Samuel, man looks at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart. I can't really judge based on my children's reactions to what I say whether or not they will embrace change, but I definitely pray that they do. I do believe that many of them are serious about turning their lives around, but they are extremely discouraged and frustrated with what they've been through. Often when they come to the Christian Counseling Center, it's been a significant period of time, months, years, that they've been dealing with various issues.
Wow.
And so it's hard for them to just pick up and say, okay, I'm going to turn around and change.
You all don't go to some of the situations that we go through, or they don't go to situations that we go through, and we probably haven't been through situations, we probably don't want to go through situations. But I know that you have learned a lot from, that people actually go to these type of things. How did that do your heart, to feel that, hey, you can really reach the life of this young person. You can, if this person comes to the counseling center, have no belief in God, have no faith in God, how did that do your heart to know that you have touched this life, and is it possible this person can make a commitment in their life to give their life to Christ?
One of the things I've learned is that I can't reach them. If I go with my own philosophies, ideologies, my own thinking, I'm banging my head against a wall. A lot of them won't open up to me. They'll shut down. But I found that when I allow God to touch them through me, and when I seek His face for guidance and direction, it makes a huge difference. I don't say that to sound pious or humble, it's the truth. There have been times I've sat in my sessions and I had no clue where to go. I had no clue what to say. I had no clue what would be the next question to ask, because I was just stumped by either what I'd heard or by their indifference. And I would have to quietly whisper within my own heart, God, give me wisdom regarding what I need to say next, because there's a lot going on here. I have no clue what's going on, but you know this child's heart. You know what they need to hear, or what question needs to be asked for them to understand that this is definitely an opportunity that God has presented to them to work through their hurts and pains. And so please say it through me. If you don't mind, I'd like to give you an example of how that works out. There was this young boy that came in, and we were talking about various issues that he'd been through, and he was explaining some struggles that he was having. He was being teased by peers about being a sissy, not because of anything he'd done, but the bully had picked him out as being the target for his comments, so the bully just kept targeting him and calling him a sissy, and other kids joined in, because if you don't want to be bullied, then you join the bully. And this young man was really discouraged, and he said to me, Miss Arnett, sometimes when he considered that, as well as other things that had taken place in his life, he was even suicidal, and he was under the age of 13. And I sat there and I listened to him, and I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't want to be trite. I didn't want to say something polite or nice. I wanted to speak truth into his life. And I whispered in my heart, okay, God, what do I say? And God said, ask him what his middle name is. Because I knew his first name. And so I asked him what his middle name was, and he told me. And then God said, go look it up. So I was like, give me a second, let me just look up the meaning of your middle name. So I went to my computer and I put in his middle name and I looked it up. And I sat there and it popped up on the screen, and I just gasped and was like, yeah, that resonates. And of course he's looking at me as if I'm weird, and so I printed it off and I walked up to him and I said, I want you to read this. And it sat on his lap, and he looked at it, and let's say the name was John. He said, John. Name John, meaning man, warrior. And I said, what did that say? And he said, man, warrior. And I said, what is that saying about you? You are what? He's like, I'm a man. I was like, that's right. You're not a sissy. You're not a girl. You're a man. You're a warrior. I said, God allowed your mom to choose that name for you because he knew that at some point in your journey, this was going to be something that Satan would attack you with. He would attack your masculinity and cause you to wonder if you were a man or if you were a woman. And that resonated with him. And every time he would come into a session after that, and we'd be just talking about different things going on in his life, I would say to him, hey, what's the meaning of your name? And he said, man, warrior. And he never forgot that. And in another instance, I had another young man come into my office, and we were talking about some stuff he was going through, and he was describing a situation with one of his teachers at school, and she was frustrated with him. And sometimes when teachers are frustrated, they say and do things that are not beneficial to the child. And so she decided to nickname him Ishmael. And she did that to be derogatory and to put him down.
Wow.
That's when you think about it, who's Ishmael? Ishmael was the son that Abraham sent away. When Sarah said, I can't take this no more, get rid of this child, and his mother, Abraham kicked him out. And so that was a derogatory thing that she was saying to that child. And he was discouraged by it because he knew the story of Abraham and Ishmael, and he knew that Ishmael was the reject. And as I sat there, again, the Holy Spirit said, go look up the meaning of Ishmael. And so I kind of was caught off guard by that, because I knew that generally when you think of Ishmael, you think negative.
Yeah.
So I went to the computer, looked at the meaning of Ishmael, and the meaning of Ishmael is God is listening. And so I walked over to him and I gave him the meaning, and I said, what does that say? And he said, God is listening. I said, so although she meant to curse you, criticize you, put you down, she was actually blessing you. And that's what sometimes happens for a lot of our young people. People come at them with negative things, but they don't realize that sometimes they're actually blessing this child that they attempted to curse. It's the same thing with Balaam. Balaam was hired by this foreign king to curse Israel, and all he could do was bless Israel. And so God has definitely been with me a lot of times in my sessions and shown up in amazing ways and given me the wisdom that I needed to speak into the lives of young people. But it's not me who's speaking, it's him. And one of the things I always pray before I start any session is, God, please say through me what you want to say, and may I say only what you want me to say, nothing more, nothing less. Because it's about him, and they've been hurt a lot, and I don't know all their hurt issues, and I don't want to tritely say something that could add to a hurt issue. So I really ask God for wisdom and direction, because he knows their hearts, and he knows what they've been through, and he knows why they're going through what they're going through, and why they're behaving the way they're behaving. A lot of people think they're just rude. The reason why a lot of our young people are acting out is because they're hurting. And hurt people hurt people.